Hola a todos! Today we're going to take a look at your first quiz, Prueba número 1. I'm going to take it as though I were a student, so we can walk through what the correct responses were, and that way you know why you missed what you missed. So, part 1, match the greeting with the best response. Hasta mañana. We need some response that is another goodbye phrase. Una frase de despedida, a goodbye phrase. So, the only one that we have here that's a goodbye phrase is nos vemos. See you later. Número 2. Te presento a Gabriela. Let me introduce you to Gabriela. What would you say in response to that? Nice to meet you. Mucho gusto. Número 3. ¿Cómo te llamas? Me llamo Hugo. Número 4. ¿Qué hay de nuevo? What's new? Nada. Número 5. Mucho gusto, señor. Igualmente. Nice to meet you too. So, igualmente literally means equally or likewise, but we would just say you too, or nice to meet you too. Question 2. So this part I hoped would be really simple. And it showed me if you guys really have learned your subject pronouns and your forms of estar. This is extremely important because this is like the base for all of your verbs in Spanish. We need to know our subject pronouns, and you need to know your forms of verbs because there's a pattern, a consistent pattern that we'll see in verbs that we learn, and they always have certain things in common. So starting with he. Él is our subject pronoun, and don't worry if you didn't write the accent mark, that's fine. If you want to know how to use accent marks on your computer, it's really easy. Just Google how to write accent marks in Spanish, and whether you have a PC or a Mac, it will tell you exactly how to do that. You've got a lot of options. Worst case scenario, if you wanted to, you could go to a website called spanish.typeit.org. Okay, and there you have the Spanish accents. You could just click, copy, and paste, and put those letters in there that way if you really wanted to. So our form of the verb estar is está. Our word for we, our subject pronoun is nosotros or nosotras. Our verb is estamos. Our subject for I is yo. Our verb form of estar is estoy. So by the way, if you read these, what you're saying here is he is, we are, I am. You all, formal, that would be ustedes. And our form of the verb is están. So people get real confused on this formal and informal business in the you all form. Just remember this, the way to say y'all anywhere in the world is ustedes, all right? In Mexico, in Peru, in Guatemala, and Spain will also use the word ustedes. But in Spain, ustedes is a formal way of saying you all. Spain also has the option of an informal form of address, which is vosotros. And that is an option that we don't have in Mexico, Peru, Guatemala, Nicaragua, Puerto Rico, anywhere else in the Spanish-speaking world, okay? When in doubt, ustedes should work. You, informal, so that's just your form you'll use to talk to your classmates, your friends, your children, anyone you're on basically the same status level as, and the same more or less age range, you will use tú with. It also totally depends on your relationship with that person. So, one person with their grandmother might use tú, and one person might use usted, and that is also a regional thing. Just depending on where you're from, you might tend to be more formal or more informal. When in doubt, though, if you start a conversation with somebody and you're not sure whether to use the formal or the informal form, default to the formal. So if I see somebody, a lady that works in the cafeteria, for instance, and I go and see her, and we're not really friends, but we're acquaintances, I'm just going to say ¿Cómo está? Or ¿Cómo está usted? I'm not going to use that ¿Cómo estás? With her unless we were closer, had a closer relationship. Okay. So let's go to our next page. Pregunta número 7 is a dialogue, all right? And this really showed me if you guys have have some grasp of the vocabulary from the chapter. A couple of people put random things in these blanks that were not in the chapter, that they obviously looked up on Google or something, and that defeats the point completely. For one thing, sometimes it didn't even make sense, and it also is not showing me what you know and what you've learned. Okay? So, hola Felipe, ¿qué hay de nuevo? Best response to that would just be nada. ¿Y tú? Susana. Now, a lot of people put nada here as well, and that would work. I gave it half a point instead of a full point, because the next line is me alegro mucho. Me alegro mucho means I'm glad, or I'm happy about that. And you wouldn't really say, oh, I'm happy if someone says nothing, nothing new. So here, I think it would actually be better to put an expression from your chapter like todo bien, which is like it's all good, it's all going well. Todo bien, gracias. I took several versions of more or less the same idea on number 2. Mira, Susana, te presento a Oscar. Look, Susana, I want you to meet Oscar. Susana would say, mucho gusto. You could also have written the phrase encantada, which maybe a couple people did. Igualmente. Bueno, nos vemos en clase. And all we need here are 2 goodbye phrases. It really didn't matter to me which ones you used, as long as they were frases de despedida, goodbye phrases. All right, next we have número 8. So these I hoped would be really easy, and you guys actually had an advantage because you're doing this from home or from wherever. This is not a proctored quiz, so you had your materials available. My face-to-face classes definitely did not have that advantage. They just had to do it from memory. So, ¿cómo se llama usted? Tamara Torres. ¿Cuál es su número de teléfono? What is your phone number? Tamara dice, mi número es el 936-468-2121, which, by the way, is actually the Language Lab phone number, so if you ever need to reach me, that's a good number to call. Señora Ramos dice, what's your address? Or, ¿cuál es su dirección? Tamara dice, vivo en la calle de los Albañiles, número 23. Muy bien, ¿cuál es su correo electrónico? Correo electrónico is a synonym for email. You will see and hear both in Spanish-speaking countries. So, correo electrónico is the real way to say email, but they've also adopted the phrase email. Es tamara17 @gmail or gmail.com. So, arroba again is your @ symbol. I don't think I can play computer audio on here for you guys to hear. Ooh. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but on my computer, all of these audio files started playing at one time. It's really annoying and kind of creepy. So what you had to do here was refer to this text, and I mean, you could have technically used copy and paste and translated it. I wasn't there to see you if you did, but it still did test you because you had to listen to me speak and decide if the phrases were true or false. So you were still having to use Spanish regardless. So I don't remember exactly what I said on each of these, but I know this one was, I had said aloud, el español es la lengua nacional de 30 países, which means Spanish is the national language of 30 countries. And if you read the first line, we see el español es la lengua nacional de 20 países. So that would be falso. Let's see if I can play this one.
El español es la lengua número 2 en el mundo.
So, el español es la lengua número 2 en el mundo. And I'm going right in order here. Es la lengua número 2 del mundo. Después del mandarín. So, it's the number 2 language in the world after Mandarin. So, that would be cierto, true. So, true. Number 15, número 15.
El deporte más popular en España es el béisbol.
El deporte más popular en España es el béisbol. So let's look for where we talk about deportes, which are sports. El deporte más popular del mundo hispano es el fútbol. So we see that soccer or football is the most popular sport. In el Caribe, in the Caribbean, baseball is very popular, but in Spain, we did not mention baseball. In fact, it's definitely, by a long shot, it's football is the most popular sport. So that would be falso. Pregunta 16.
En particular, la mayoría de los hispanos son católicos.
Okay, so this one, I said la religión mayoritaria or la religión principal del mundo hispano es el cristianismo. You might hear the word cristiano in there, which means Christian. So Christianity is the majority religión, the majority religion. En particular, muchos hispanos son católicos. Many Hispanics are Catholic. So most Spanish-speaking countries, in fact, all Spanish-speaking countries are traditionally Catholic. So that would be cierto, true. And lastly, we have pregunta 17.
Española evolucionó del latín.
So la lengua española evolucionó del latín. So la lengua española, the Spanish language, where is that? El español. Evolucionó, evolved, del latín, from Latin. So, cierto. And I was really surprised in my face-to-face classes how few people knew the language that Spanish evolved from. So just so you'll know, Spanish, French, Portuguese, Italian, Romanian, and even others all evolved from Latin. So that's why these are all called Romance languages. It's because they originated from Rome. So that's why they look similar. If you learn one of them, it's going to be a lot easier for you to learn another one. So knowing Spanish, it was really easy for me to pick up French and Portuguese, and I speak some Italian now. But that's why it's so different from English and German, because those are Germanic languages. So anyway, just good to know. So let's go to submit our quiz. I hope I saved all my answers. And hopefully, okay. Okay. I had my grading, some of my grade settings done wrong. I had to go back in and grade them individually. So let's see if, I can't open that because I don't want you guys to see each other's grades. But anyway, that's a grading point issue. That's not an answer issue. So those were all correct answers for the quiz. I just had messed up my points a little, and so that's why I had to go into each one of y'all and give you points. I think I had like the first question worth 1 point instead of worth 5, so I had to go in and fix that individually. And also, there's one part that's not auto-graded, and I had to go do the dialogue part separately. So just rest assured those were the correct answers of the quiz. If you're unsure about how I got any of those, or if you're just really struggling at doing this coursework on your own, feel free to always come by during my office hours. And if my office hours don't work for you, or you just want to make double sure that I'm here, send me an email like the day before, and we'll just make sure that we can set up a time, and I would be really happy to meet with you guys. Statistically, the students that have made the time to meet up with me have been the ones that do better in the class. So, yeah, good luck with everything. Have a good weekend. Hasta luego.